channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Natasha Denona Cranberry Eyeshadow Palette. If you do want to see a review and a demo, please keep watching. So this is what the unicorn does look like. It's this cranberry shade. It says Natasha Denona. And then on the back you do have some of the ingredients and the shade name. Here's what the eyeshadow palette does look like. You do get 5 shades. You get like a lavender sparkly one, which I think is coming out of the pan if I'm not mistaken. So let's open this up. I'm going to open this up very carefully because I don't want it to fall everywhere. Alright, yeah, it definitely seems like the purple is going to fall out of the pan. But here's what the 5 eyeshadows do look like in the pan. This eyeshadow palette retails for $45 at Sephora.com, which is pretty expensive in my opinion. She did also come out with mini eyeshadow palettes that retail for $25 each. I was thinking about purchasing one of those mini eyeshadow palettes so I can compare it to this one. When I did see those in store, those were very, very small. I did mention to you guys that I was not going to be purchasing this palette. I ended up picking it up because I did swatch the shadows in store, and they were beautiful pigmented buttery shadows in store, so I definitely wanted to create a look with this eyeshadow palette. So we're going to jump right into the swatches. I definitely knew that this eyeshadow was going to fall out. These eyeshadows do have the same formula as last year's palettes when her eyeshadows did end up falling out. So I guess we won't be using this shadow. Carefully put that back in, but I do want to swatch this shade for you guys so I can show you guys how pigmented and buttery these shadows are. So here's what the shade Daisy looks like. Beautiful purple iridescent shade. So I just blended out that shade with my finger, and that's what it looks like when it is blended. The next shade is called Sakura. It's this cranberry shade. So here we have that shade. For some reason this shadow was not as pigmented as when I did swatch it in store. I did have to dig my finger in and really swirl it around to get that pigmentation. But you can definitely see that I'm almost hitting pan with this eyeshadow, which is really, really weird. In store it didn't look like it was used as much. But I literally just dug my finger in and it created that dent to it. The next shade in the collection is called Botanic, and it's this glittery champagne gold shade. Here's what that shade looks like. This middle shadow was very crumbly when I did swatch it. I'm just going to blend that shadow out. So that's what that shade looks like when it is blended out. Next shade in the collection is called Blossom, and it's this beautiful deep plum shade. This shade is very buttery and pigmented, whereas this shade was not really buttery and pigmented as I thought it was. This shade was a little bit chalky in the pan, but this shade is very, very buttery. We have that beautiful deep plum shade in Blossom. And the last shade in the palette is called Nude. And it's this golden champagne shade, whereas this shade here was a bronzy shade. So here we have all 5 of the swatches. So far I'm not really impressed with the formula. I thought it would be as buttery, but I guess the one that was on display at Sephora when I did swatch it, maybe that was a different formula, or maybe I picked up a bad batch. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have purchased this eyeshadow palette and definitely noticed a difference. I'm actually super bummed that I can't use this shadow because it did fall out and I don't want any of that in my eye. So I definitely think we're going to stick with these 4 shadows. I'm going to grab a fluffy brush and I'm just going to dab into this cranberry shadow, and I'm going to fluff that all over the crease. So far the shadow is very pigmented and I didn't have to use a lot of pressure when applying the shade. I'm just going to do the other eye. I really do love how the cranberry shade is very pigmented. There wasn't any fallout. The next shade we are going to be taking is this deep plum shade, and we're going to press that in our outer V. And I'm just going to bring this shadow up as well. We're going to blend those 2 shades together. So I'm liking how those 2 did blend. I'm not sure if I want to take this bronzy glitter shade or should I take this champagne golden shadow. I think I'm going to use both the shadows. I'm going to use the bronze shade. I'm going to tap that all over the lid. And then for my inner corner, I'm going to use this this golden champagne shade. I'm just going to be using my fingers. That way we can get the most out of this pigment. I actually really do love that. I'm going to do the same thing for the other eye. I was thinking about doing a halo eye, but then I just decided to press this all over the lid. I'm just going to be taking a clean brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of this champagne shade. We're going to apply that in our inner corner. Guys, I really do love how this look did turn out. I'm just going to be adding some mascara and a lip, and I'll be right back. I added mascara to my lashes, and then for lips I am wearing the e.l.f. Scarlet Night. This is the matte lip color. I love how this look did turn out. Eyeshadow palettes cost so much money, and that these eyeshadows just still keep falling out of the palette, are probably not pressed in correctly in the pan. Like this one fell out, this one was crumbling, and you can definitely notice that these eyeshadows aren't sitting well in the pan. They do move around in the pan. Like, do you guys see that? Let me just show you guys that these eyeshadows do move around in the pan. Do you guys hear that? They're not steady in the pan, which I definitely think needs to be fixed, so I am going to be going back to Sephora and exchanging this for a new eyeshadow palette. Or maybe I got one of those dud palettes and it just maybe was falling apart and I just ended up picking it up without checking it in store. I should have done that before, but I wanted to open it up on camera with you guys. There was a lot of pigment in this eyeshadow palette, but I do think that I am probably going to hit pan, because you can definitely see that I am kind of hitting pan on this one, and I literally just swiped my finger in there just a couple times. These eyeshadow palettes do cost so much. They're $45. You're only getting 5 shadows, and it's super expensive. I definitely don't think I can recommend this eyeshadow palette to you guys. Now, I do have a couple of pieces of Natasha Denona in my collection. I just don't have her eyeshadow palette because they do retail for an arm and a leg. There are some wonderful eyeshadow palettes on the market, and this eyeshadow palette is not it. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.